Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is just to let you know there's two videos technically in this. Well, if you want the brief version of this video, just react to about the first 32 minutes of the video. Otherwise, if you want the full reaction and full honest reaction of the other video, that will be after this. So it'll probably be about an hour and 40-ish minutes. So, cool. I'll have a timestamp in the description or somewhere on the video if I can figure that out. And that way, if you want to go to whatever video you can. He didn't like how I was talking a lot in the first one, so I redid it, brief version. But he doesn't want two things at once, so I'm just gonna throw them together. I don't know. It's in my channel. I know that and stuff. So this will be the only exception. And as well as I did miss a video, so that's why I'm putting the short one first. But in my opinion, I don't know. It just really didn't add that much to me. So, you know, I'll let the video start. This is a brief version of the last video I did. I'm going to try to get this up this week, but it'll probably be the only thing I get up. I don't know. Otherwise, it'll probably be this and another one, along with one of the Pokemon ones. But regardless, let's get started. One sec. Okay, apparently I skipped this one, but I don't think, I think we've ended on this one, and then there's a red bar here. So clearly I've watched it, but that's probably because I stopped on it. I don't know. So I'm going to throw this in only this one time since I missed it. So this was not in the original.
Where do I even begin with this? Give me a second. Oh my god, here we go. I'm just gonna say it. Governments all over the world want to control gaming.
First off, what do they not want to control? It's the government.
They're putting all these restrictions on gaming. Governments all over the world.
Now, I'm going to try to not pause minimal and or talk minimal. If you want, other than this video right here, if you want to see the full thoughts of the ones after this, refer to the extended version.
We have to give the governments our personal information and our age, and which is a very big security risk of our...
No, it really isn't, okay? First off, try to keep this as brief as I can, but it could be a good thing, and it can be a good thing. Because there are a lot of games that kids are playing that they shouldn't play, age-wise, because their parents let them, okay? And then, second, if you're worried about data breach, that's been happening since the dawn of time of data. That's happening right now. Before this. You won't need this to have a data breach of your bank, your social security, or anything.
For information. But all three corporations, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, are follow suit. Governments are going all over the world are going to control gaming. And dude, this is beyond insanity. Dude, this is beyond words. I mean, this is my hobby, for crying out loud. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love gaming with all my heart. If governments are going to control gaming on Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
on all platforms, on all devices, dude, us gamers are screwed.
Not really.
We're totally screwed if
Not
this
really.
happens. I never thought in this kind of world where we just can't play video games, where we have to give the government all of our data just to play a video game. And Grand Theft Auto has already followed suit. If you see in the files the leaks, you have to put all your information, and the government will have each track of that all over the world. And I don't think there's anything we can do about it. Dude, can you imagine the amount of gamers when they find this out? It's over for gaming. I'm just saying it. If this happens, gaming's over. And so many gamers are not going to want to play gaming after this. And we're already have to worrying about prices going up and tariffs affecting gaming as it is. If this happens, I'm just going to say it. We are so screwed as gamers. This was the easiest hobby to get into, which has made it the most, and in the future, has made it the most complicated mess I have ever seen in the gaming industry. And the gaming industry is already dying. And if governments all over the world want to take control of gaming, dude, it's over for us. It's just over. Dude, I watched Dreamcast Guy cover this. I mean, look at this. I'm going to show you in the camera. I am shooken to the core from this.
Ay, 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 ay.
You can see the shaking on my hands.
Not a bad thing.
That
You're
is
just
how
looking
damn
at
scared I
the
am
bad part.
when it comes to this.
You're not looking at the good that it can
This
do,
was a hobby
too.
that I grew up and loved.
No matter what,
with
there's going to
all
be data
my
breaches
heart.
and almost anything. That's just
And
life.
just to see it, this fall this much, to the point where governments all over the world are taking control of gaming, we are so screwed, us gamers. This is not passion anymore. This is complete control. And Dreamcast Guy said that social media platforms are also going to follow suit too. So it's not just gaming that's going to be affected. This is complete censorship. And there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Then why
Not
you
even a
need to...
petition
There's nothing you can do about it, then why worry about it?
could save us at this point.
You know?
How do I even put in words? I mean, I guess give a moment of silence, I guess, for us gamers. I don't even do a sad song to show the mood. Here we go. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do.
Ay vey.
We're screwed.
Not trying to be rude, but we're not screwed.
Nothing we can do.
Not that big of a deal.
And no words. We need to stay alert, protect yourselves, and do what we can to survive.
Uh-huh. Wait. No, it's supposed to be this one.
Guys.
Oh, wait, no. No, we did that one. It was this one. But then we're supposed to go down to that one.
Guys, this is going to be a more...
Okay, we're going to everything used to be cheap.
frustrating video. So just bear that in mind. Okay, guys. Tariffs are affecting the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo are all raising their prices because of the tariffs.
Yes and no. Any kind of inflation,
Consoles,
any inflation
games,
basically gonna have that. Whether it's
controllers,
tariffs or not.
accessories. All four of these things that we love about gaming are going up because of tariffs.
Boo-hoo. Steam is way better.
The gaming industry is screwed because of tariffs.
Not really.
People cannot afford gaming.
Uh-huh.
I cannot afford gaming.
I can't.
No
You
one
can
afford gaming.
$7. Jack 3.
And this is just
$35
so
bucks on
frustrating.
Amazon. No, for PlayStation 3 collection.
I even heard a guy say that he had a Nintendo 3DS that was modded, that plays games, and this is the only way he can afford gaming.
Oh, brother.
This is how bad the gaming industry as a
No,
whole
really.
is.
You're focusing on the
Tariffs
negatives.
has screwed gaming.
Only the negatives.
The gaming industry is going to crap right now. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, wow.
The economy is going to hell. Prices all across the board going to hell. Everything's getting more expensive. Everything, no matter if it's the gaming industry or everything else, it's going to crap. And honestly, I saw this coming. If you guys watch my videos lately,
Again, it's not rocket
You would saw
science to
this
see
coming.
coming regardless.
I knew that these tariffs were coming.
Oh,
I knew it
boo-hoo.
was going to hit the gaming industry. I knew it was going to hit everything.
I'm not
If you
trying to
haven't
sound
watched
rude or
that
anything.
video yet,
Don't
I
worry.
plead you to go see those videos now. We're screwed. We're all
We're not.
screwed. Gaming
Screwed.
industry screwed. The gaming industry
We're not
is going
screwed.
to
You're only
crap.
screwed if you have a mindset like that.
And
because,
no
well,
one
you
can
know.
afford gaming now because of these tariffs. I mean, the worst part about this is that since governments all over the world is censoring gaming and trying to put restrictions on consoles and games.
Not really.
That's gonna screw the gaming industry.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but not really.
Honestly, I'm just gonna try to give you guys some probably the most smartest advice I've ever given. Everybody is switching to classic gaming. People.
I have to pause real quick. Classic gaming is not expensive because if you look at the other video, it was about a bit over $600 to buy every classic console on Amazon if you were to buy it. Okay.
Can't afford
and
gaming.
that's besides
everybody is
the
switching
game.
to classic gaming.
Besides
so
the game.
What advice I would give you is don't buy any new games. Don't buy any new controllers. Don't buy any new accessories.
And controllers,
don't
they're not
buy
that
any new
expensive.
consoles.
Heck, sorry. This right here, I could use on my phone. I could PC. There was one I got off Amazon that it wasn't that. It was about the same price that connected to PS4, PS3, and PC for like $20-$30.
Buy a PlayStation 1.
Only the reason why I don't use it anymore because the
buy
button's
a Wii.
malfunctioning.
Buy a GameCube.
To where
buy
like,
an
it's
original
a chip
Xbox.
thing, not the controller.
Buy a
itself,
Game Boy or even a
but,
DS or 3DS. Buy an original Nintendo. Buy the Nintendo 64. Heck, even buy the Super Nintendo.
Like I said, if you want to refer, I showed this all in the extended version, the hour version. So if you want to see how much that cost, just scroll through that video and you will see. I hold my phone up. I had everything he listed in my Amazon cart at once. If you were to get those at once, it would be over $600.
And
Who's saying?
For the love of God, don't spend any money on these expensive crap.
No, I'm
It's
probably
not worth
blessed
it.
more
Save your money
than most.
Buy a classic
Yes,
game, console,
I'm not saying
controllers, and accessories.
It's a problem
because
or not.
This is the
I'm not saying
direction
he's
that
wrong,
the gaming industry
but,
is going in.
again,
It's going to crap. The economy is going to crap. Tariffs are screwing the gaming industry and everything. Save your money. Buy things you can afford. Buy things used.
I mean, yeah,
Don't
buy things you
any
can
new
afford, or
stuff
if you really want it, save
whatsoever.
up. Problem solved.
Until these 4 years are up. Don't
buy what you want, regardless.
anything. And that's my advice.
But like
in
I
the
said,
gaming
it's going to
industry.
be over $600 for you to get all classic devices.
The amount of bad stuff that is happening on the news is causing people to have mental health issues.
That is a lie, and not a lie. Because mental health has been around before. Kind of thing. To get discovered here and there. And when you stress over things you can't control, watch negative things over and over, aka any news station, because they pretty much 90% of the time show the bad stuff and never the good, especially depending on the news station. Okay, try to make this as quick as possible. What's that? Yeah, but yeah, doing all that can cause a mental health decline, but at the same time, if you stay in places that you shouldn't, around the wrong people, etc., that could also affect your mental health. And if you don't do things to manage your stress, like not worrying about things you can't control, not worrying about things that are out of your control, like, there's no point of worrying about them. Especially politics, in my opinion. It's not worth it. It's just going to make your health decline because you're going to worry about a lot of stuff you can't control. You're going to worry about this, that. If it happens, it happens.
Let's do everything we can to keep our mental health in check, because mental health awareness is going to be key in this generation. Guys, prices are on the rise. I remember a time when everything used to be cheap.
I mean, everything. Hold on. Everything used to be cheap, only because depending on how you look at it. Because
now,
when you look at
they
it,
are most expensive
back then, if you were poor, it would still be expensive.
In the
If,
past,
unless you were rich or middle
dollar
class, it would still
meant
kind of be
something.
expensive.
Now
So,
it doesn't.
really, it doesn't matter.
Heck,
if you're looking
you're
at
a
it from
person that
the
likes
modern
to do
the modern era. Okay, the modern era, like right now and back, yeah, it was cheap. But back then, if depending on what class you're in, it could also been expensive, especially if you were homeless or poor or not financially stable. So it really just depends on how you look at it.
do hobbies or jobs like game development or movies, basically anything you do. Doing your best used to mean something. Now, if you give it your best, it means nothing. You have to work 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times as hard just for your best work to mean something. And if you have a job or something, you have to work harder and harder and harder, and your dollar won't be worth it. You have to work at least 10 times as hard just to make ends meet. And the stuff I've seen is beyond insanity. I have seen videos of people saying that they just can't afford things. They can't make ends meet. Their dollar means nothing now. And dude, I have even seen prices all across the board. I'll even give you some examples. That one time I found a stuffed animal that was like this big, cost $40.
Yes and no. Again, depending on, you got to think about, depending on the material as well. And all that stuff.
That one time I found a small How to Train Your Dragon toy, $20. Heck, even small toy items like this, just this small, can cost $10. And eating out,
again, it also depends on the material.
You have to spend so much money just to eat out. Or if you need some food at the grocery store, man,
and most of the material and the people manufacturing, you gotta, because if you have a rise tax of, of anything, like property or like where the machines that is producing kind of like property tax or whatever rises, then yeah, you're going to need to up it a bit because you're going to need to be sure you can make money to keep producing it. Otherwise, you're going to go out of business or just stop producing that.
To be able to get a whole bunch of groceries. If you go to get groceries now, you'll be even lucky enough to get mostly anything anymore. Prices have gone up tremendously, and it's all because of the tariffs. It does suck because, this economy, it was so easy to buy stuff. Nowadays, you're either have to buy an arm or a leg just to be able to afford it. People cannot afford things now. If you look on multiple videos and people chatting on social media platforms, they're saying that they just can't afford things in this kind of economy. Just things are just way too expensive. And it is. People have to get 2 to 3 jobs just to survive.
Plus, I would like to state, if you have gas problem, there is no problem, because if you fill up on Monday or Tuesday, that's the best time to fill up. It's always gonna be raised a bit the weekends, because they intentionally do that, because most people fill up over the weekend before going on a trip. So if you really need gas, always do it on a Monday or a Tuesday.
And I'm
If you
just
keep
worried
an eye
that
out,
it's
you'll
gonna get
see
worse.
there is a difference.
Dude, things used to be cheaper all across the board. Now things are at its highest that's ever been. This is the first time in history that prices has gone up this high. The only time that these prices has gone this high was during COVID. And that was the worst situation for anyone to be in. Now prices are even higher. Just people can't afford things, guys. Costs all across the board, whether it's food, gaming, toys. All across the board, it's all expensive. Guys, things used to be so much cheaper. Everything that you buy now is now luxury. And that's not good for the economy or the people. I mean, the amount of stuff I've heard. I mean, people are having to choose between rent, gas, or electric bills. Heck, there's even families that can't afford feeding their children because these prices are so bad. Prices are so bad that people are struggling not only financially but also just being able to afford food. And this is a big reality that some people won't be able to live with food. And that's just beyond insanity. Can you imagine this world with no food? That is not the country that we knew and loved. It's where you can't even afford food for basic survival. That is really bad, guys. And I've also seen restaurants shut down in my area, like Wendy's or KFC. And now just maybe, Dairy Queen is shutting down too. Dude, people cannot afford these prices. Companies, small businesses are being affected by this because they can't eat up the costs. Prices affect everything. Business and the people. And the hard working too. If you have to get 2 to 3 jobs just to survive on food, and you can not provide for your children, that just shows how bad these prices really are. I miss the days when things used to be cheap. Back in the 2000s was the cheapest economy I have ever seen in a generation. And now we're the most expensive economy in America. And it's all because of the tariffs. Everything price rise all goes back to the tariffs. This is really, really frustrating. I mean, there's even certain things that even I can't afford now. I have to really, really cheapen things up. I have to be careful of what I spend. The last thing I want me or my family to end up is either out of money or homeless. Unfortunately, the only way we're going to survive this is that we're just going to have to be cheap. We're going to have to watch our backs when it comes to money situation. It's just that bad, guys. People can't afford basic food anymore. We'll be lucky enough if we get a full stack of groceries at this point. People just have a few items, and that's how bad the grocery bill is nowadays. It sucks. It truly sucks. And that's why everything used to be cheap. And the prices has gone up.
First off, I would like to close out with not everything used to be cheap. Again, it just depends on your class. It just depends on your status. It also depends on, well, not status, but money too. Because, yeah, it's easy to compare back then with now without living in that era. Because if you were to live in those eras, okay, black people could not afford anything. With how they were treated, or probably paid, because they were paid way less, because they were undermined, slaves at one point, etc. So, really, like, they could hardly get work. They could hardly get a loan at a bank, of a white person bank, and all that stuff, especially. So, really, you gotta put yourself in other people's shoes, whether they're poor, rich, of course, we'd be able to afford, but, like, poor, medium class, if you were living back then, it would be expensive, depending on what you do for work, as well back then. So, it's easy to compare without living in that era, especially if you were a black man in that era, or back then, especially depending on how far you're going back. So, really, heck, yes, sadly, nowadays, it's still kind of hard for some black people to get a loan out of bank, but it's better. Not the best, but it's better. It's getting better. But the point is, depending on how far you go back, not a lot of people had it easier as they do now. As it is now a bit, too. Yes, it was a bit cheaper, but it's easy, again, it's easy to compare without living in the era, without putting yourself in those shoes and all that stuff. So, I'm going to end this here, because this is the video I'm ending it. If you want to see the extended version, I will link that in the video at the end screen. Hello everybody, welcome back. Yeah. We are 38 out of 80. He added some more. Originally was around 60, but but the thing is, I'm only not doing 30 minutes of this now, because once we reach the end, we're done. We're done. And I'm not trying to sound rude. I just mean, like, until it adds up to, like, 30-minute video to an hour, especially if I were doing it an hour, until it adds up to an hour, there would be no more videos on this until it adds up. And we got 10 minutes, 5, 7, I'm gonna say 30 minutes is probably gonna put us, maybe the rest of it already. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We need to stay alert, protect yourselves, and do what we can to survive.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Guys, this is going to be a more frustrating video, so just bear that in mind.
Bring it on. I'm sorry, I had to eat again.
Okay, guys. tariffs are affecting the gaming industry. Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo are all raising their prices because of tariffs. Consoles, games, controllers, accessories. All
Controller's my butt. I got this puppy for like nothing much on Amazon. $24.99 for that, and it is a PC. It can be used on a Nintendo Switch, Android, mobile, TV, iOS, Mac, with loop, macro, vibrations, turbo, motion control. Motion control. All that. The last controller I got that messed up circuitly, I think. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It worked until it didn't. But I don't think it was the controller's fault. It's just, I think, the circuit board or something. Just where, like, some of the buttons weren't doing what they were supposed to do. They were doing what other buttons do and all that. But this connects to PS4, PS3, Mac, PC, Mac, iOS, Android 10, Steam Deck, gamepad with 7 colors, RGB lighting, dual vibrations, turbo, headphone jack, etc. Like, Xbox Series X controller. 34, 37, 60 if you want a electric volt console, PC, and Android. Wireless Bluetooth CPU connectability. One's that right here. 28, 67 for a Xbox Series X/S Blue, works with Xbox One, officially licensed. Ooh, it's a old school controller type. Iron green Xbox. Yeah. Here's one that's near $100, to be honest. It's designed Android, PC, Xbox One game controller with a 3.5mm audio jack. Chain Fallen Feathers edition, so yeah, of course it's going to be expensive. It's an edition thing, so no, controller's being expensive, my butt. Games being expensive. I got this off Amazon, right? This $39.99. I got this off of Amazon for the PSP, which I got. The PSP, of course, a device. It was like only the PSP alone was About 180. Not that expensive. This game $35.75. Reasonable price. Refurbished, excellent, or refurbished, acceptable. But if you don't know, Daxter is a game to where you're playing as Daxter, from what I read, that takes place between 1 and 2 of Jak and Daxter and Jak 2. Basically, of how Daxter finds Jak in prison in Jak 2. I haven't played too much of it because I have an adapter for SD card, but when I found, I canceled the SD card I bought because it was going to be here like the 29th, and I found mine too, but the adapter that I got doesn't work, so I'm returning that. I still need to return that. Real. After like $6, so not gonna be that big of a deal to wait until I can get around to it. As long as it's before June 2nd. But I'm heading out on the 29th to get my bike tire fixed and all, so I'll probably do it then. Point is, hey, make a replay. I got Borderlands, where was it? Borderlands 2. Okay. Good job, Dom. I got Borderlands 2, $7.99, about $8 with tax, or so, give or take, at Mega Replay. But you that way that you guys don't fall again. So, yeah, not really expensive. Still not seeing it. I don't know what you're getting or shopping or what, but I'm not seeing it. No matter where I go, just half upping anything where I go. Now, I may be blessed, or I'm not in that predicament, but I'm not saying it's not happening or anything. I'm just saying, I'm not seeing it. I don't know how or why, but I'm not seeing anything that you have mentioned on here, like tasks, etc. Oh, you know.
All four of these things that we love about gaming are going up because of tariffs. The gaming industry is screwed because of tariffs.
Not really.
People cannot afford gaming. I cannot.
Cannot afford games my butt. If you had a PC, when that at first my camera discount. PC is where it is bomb. Okay, you got free weekend, 50% off. You get a $12 game. Look at that. Look at these sales. $30 game for $7.49. Bruh. I don't want to play that. $60 game, $15. A little bit over with tax, but you get the point. $59 for two. $30. Not that bad. Not bad. Not bad. It's also ruined. Heck. Some of my wish list stuff is not even expensive. And here's this. Didn't mean to get. I mean, I can't. Okay? Nah. That's not even that bad. All reasonable price. And if you don't have the money for, like, say, this at the moment, or this, then wait until it goes on sale when there is a sale. If you can. Like, look at this. Ni no Kuni 2. If this is still on sale by next month, I'm still getting it. An $80 game. For about $12. That's it. $10. Heck. Where is it? This game right here, store page. $20. But I got it for like $6 when it was on sale. About 6, 7, 8, I don't know. I think about 6. Well, no, it's like, yeah, about 5 something with tax. It was 4 and something. So, yeah, I got that when it was on sale. Heck, I got this, and this for like $50, half price of what it was on the Steam page. About half off. Games are not expensive, Josh. You just, I mean, again, if you're a console, you're a console. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But PC is where it really is gaming, because that's where Steam is over-prevailed all consoles. Now, I don't really care about console wars. Okay? You play what you want to play. I don't care. I enjoy PC more. I play some PlayStation 3. But me personally, I'll always choose the PlayStation 3 over an Xbox. Mainly because that's what I grew up with. But at the same time, it had all the games I like to play. I mean, there are some of like Jak and Daxter or this or Tasmanian Tiger that is on it. Don't get me wrong. But I've always played them in Xbox or PlayStation controls a bit, but at the same time, I've been on Hytale for a long time. I've got games like Resident Evil 6, Fallout 3, Borderlands 2, Batman Arkham City, Skyrim, Fractured Butthole. Oh wait, no, that's Stick of Truth. Shadow of Mordor, Heavy Rain, the Director's Cut, Call of Duty Black Ops, Call of Duty World at War, Diablo 3. And all these games I got free from my brother when he gave me the PlayStation 3, when he got his PlayStation 5. He was going to give me a PlayStation 5, and that's why I was going to get the Kingdom of Hearts thing on. But it's like, you know what? It's on PC. I can get it 50% off. Why wait for my brother to give me something he says he's going to give me, and yet has not? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You bet I'm gonna get that, especially. Now I can play and do videos on it. If I were to get it on a PS4, I would need a game capture. So I'm glad I got it on Steam. Steam is the go-to. Steam is the GOAT of all gaming, in a way, with the sales. You can play some games with controller, you can play some games with... It supports Xbox controllers, it supports PlayStation controllers, if it's compatible, like PlayStation 4, 5, etc. Xbox controller. This technically reads as Xbox 360 controller, and it still works when I connect it to my computer wirelessly with the dingle thing. But, you know. Well, yeah.
Afford gaming. No one can afford gaming.
A lot of people can afford gaming, especially if you know what to do, where to go, and you know, Steam. Yeah,
this is just so frustrating. I even heard a guy say that he had a Nintendo 3DS that was modded, that plays games, and this is the only way he can afford gaming.
Nintendo 3DS modded to do what? Play other games? Again, you could do... I mean, again, I'm not saying that everybody is in the same boat with it. Again, obviously, I am blessed, thank you, to not be too much into this. But yeah, I'm not, like, I know there's different class, like lower, higher, medium, and all that stuff. But, and then, depending on your budget, you may not be able to afford a $50 game or like a $30, but at the same time, if you put some stuff aside, like save up a bit, or again, Steam, wait until it goes on sale on Steam. There's ways to save and all that stuff. But it's like, you're acting like everybody is broke. Like, everybody in this world, even the rich, cannot afford anything. You may be in this position, and I get it. You may be struggling with money, or you may have a tight budget at the moment. Understandable, but not everybody is in that same boat. But some know how it is because they started there before they got to where they were. You know, I mean, I know I was when I was living with Mom, because most of my money and her money went to rent, and so whatever we had left was what we had for the rest of the month for food, etc. So again, that was before tax and all that. So yeah, I know that boat. I've been in it, but you know, even went now. Like, I mean, I get a good amount of money after rent paid since it's $400. I'm not going to reveal my money because that's not of like how much I would have left, because that's not something you should share online. Regardless, but regardless, I can do good saddle stuff. But like if I need to, I put stuff back. If I set a budget, my spending is at least $300 or lower. For like Amazon, just like stuff I'm going to get on Amazon, or you know, and then I try to eat out at least 2 times a month, mainly because Amber goes out. I don't want I know Amber's looking to lose weight, and she goes out as it is with her dad, stepdad, but and her mother every other week, but her stepdad every slash dad, because again he was the one that took care of her, so technically relation wise would be dad, but you get the point. The thing is, yeah, what was I getting at? She goes out almost every week with him. Sometimes with staff when she has them, or like with her BC. So I limit it to 2 times a week. That way I don't spend too much, but we don't typically go to spending out to eat much anyway, because she already goes out a lot. But if we go out, we try to go somewhere a bit healthy, like Subway or China House or a Chinese place for the 11th of our anniversary every month and all that stuff. And then if we're out, we get peckish. Yeah, we get a little something, you know. But everywhere I go, I've seen people at the mall. I've seen people in GameStop. I've seen people at Mega Replay when I was there. I've seen people everywhere I go where you say people can't afford.
This is how bad the gaming industry as a whole is. Tariffs has screwed gaming. The gaming industry is going to crap right.
Not really, because they can do that to themselves without tariffs, first off. And again, everything has a start, a middle, and an end. So eventually, there's going to be a time to where there'll probably be no power, no nothing, to where you can't even play a video game. In the end, it won't matter whether you have physical or digital. And people will probably be turning to gas to run generators, whether it's to play games or not. So, really, it's all the same thing.
Now. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Then why worry about it?
The economy is going to hell.
Nah, really.
Prices all across the board going to hell.
Not seen it.
Everything's getting more expensive. Everything, no matter if it's...
That's life. That's inflation, tax or not. Okay. That's just life.
Gaming industry or everything else, it's going to crack.
Not really.
And honestly...
No, I'm not saying that you're not in this boat, Josh. I'm not saying that none of the stuff that you're saying is wrong. Oh, wrong pipe. Water down the wrong. Right. Okay. But at the same time, my opinion, I am not saying anything you mentioned. But again, I don't stress over things I can't control. No point. Stress is not good for your mental or physical and whatnot. Now, like I said, you do you. You do you. But I don't stress over politics. I don't stress over stuff. If I can't get it, I save up. If I can get it and I want it, and that's what I would save it up for or wanting to buy, then I'll get it. You know.
I saw this coming. If you guys watch my videos lately, you have saw this coming.
Again, it doesn't take a rocket science to see anything coming with the government. None of this is shocking. Heck, oh God, it's already been 30 minutes of just these videos alone. But again, I gotta factor in that anytime I'm gonna pause or talk, you know. Oh,
I knew that these tariffs were coming. I knew it was gonna hit the gaming industry.
So what?
I knew it was gonna hit everything.
Clearly, it didn't hit everything. It didn't hit Steam. It didn't hit my Kroger's, because when I go there, the stuff I get hasn't gone up. Milk is still $4.99. Everything I get is still the same price as it was before.
I haven't watched that video yet. I plead you to go see those videos now. We're screwed. We're all screwed.
Not really.
Industry, screwed.
I feel like everybody is in the same boat. Now again, there are some rich people that have started with nothing and got to where they were with hard work. Not all rich are spoiled. Not all rich are greedy, evil, etc. Don't get me wrong. Some of them started out honest and then lost their way by greed or famous or rich because, you know, it's like, oh, that's the norm. When you're rich, you can do this, cheat. Oh, rich people cheat. Oh, rich people do this. Oh, the mentality that people go about. But it's a choice regardless. It's not a mentality. But there are some that haven't lost themselves and are still help each other. They volunteer, soup kitchens and stuff like that. There are some good rich. There are some good politicians. There are some good Republicans, Democrats. There are some bad Democrats. There are some bad Republicans. There's good and bad in anything.
Screwed. The gaming industry is going to crap. And no one can afford gaming now because of these tariffs.
Like we just covered.
I mean, the worst part about this is that since governments all over the world is censoring gaming and trying to put restrictions on consoles and games.
And I think they should in some cases because some games are rated M, R, etc. for a reason, okay? So yeah, I don't blame them for doing so. If they're doing it for like that kind of restriction, because some parents just don't care and will buy their kids something just because they ask, or this or that, and they don't care regardless of whether it has nudity or anything, then yeah, I don't blame them for those restrictions of consoles and all that stuff. And that's where age verification can kind of come in handy on consoles or PCs or anything, because then if it's like, oh, you're not 18, you cannot play this rated R game, or this game that contains heavily nudity, etc. And I know you're worried about data leaks with AI and Face ID and all that stuff. Government already knows your Social Security. Government already knows your stuff because you have to register your ID, your address, Social Security if you have it, Medicaid. They have your medical records and they don't even use them when you know more than half the time when you go to the hospital. I mean, if you have a good doctor, they do. They'll look at it. Don't get me wrong. But it's not been the case for my mom. And whatnot. And sometimes, a little bit with me on that. And then they have you wanting to pay insurance in case to protect all that information they have, when they could just do that already. But no, you got to pay for that, you know? But if someone wanted to hack, they could have been hacking into banks, hacking into this, hacking into that. Companies have been data breaching, leaking, selling info and all that stuff since the dawn of corruption was invented. Or the first person got greedy, etc. So, really, there's nothing new. Before AI, before this age verification stuff, all that stuff has been happening already. So, you know, it's nothing to worry about. Really, it's already happening. Why stress over it?
That's going to screw the gaming industry too. Honestly, I'm just gonna try to give you guys some probably the most smartest advice I've ever given. Everybody is switching to classic gaming. People can't afford gaming.
People are also switching back from Teslas to gas-powered cars because one, not a lot of charging spots. Two, they're actually not as good for the planet as you realize. Because again, the lithium battery that takes intense mining for the materials, and then all the materials that it takes to make the car. If everybody were to switch to a Tesla, it would really off-put carbon footprint. You should keep your car until it needs to be replaced and can't be fixed, or is too much to be fixed more than it's worth. Otherwise, just try to drive less, walk a bit, bike, like, that kind of stuff. Bus runs on gas, but like less cars, less stuff. But regardless, okay? So, yeah. Teslas aren't that good. And if the government really cared about energy, they would put solar panels in half of the Sarabian desert would provide, I'm pretty sure, like enough energy for everybody on this globe if you were to wire it. Especially if you put it where the sun never sets. That's infinite energy right there with solar panels. Think about that. If the government wanted to, but they don't care that much because of money. They don't want to spend the money to do that. They don't want to spend the money to give people free energy that much. But then, that would lower taxes. That would lower this. That would lower that. The government don't want to do that. God forbid. So,
Everybody is switching to classic gaming, so what advice I would give you is just don't buy any new games. Don't buy any new controllers. Don't buy any new accessories. Don't buy any new comp.
You're going to need new controllers, accessories, consoles. Because if your one gets broken, no matter how careful you are with it, it'll eventually break. I mean, it'll go longer, yes, if you take care of it, but it'll eventually break, and if it eventually breaks, you're going to need to buy a new one. Or a new game if the disc somehow stops working, whether you take care of it or not.
Buy a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2. Buy a Wii. Buy a GameCube. Buy an original Xbox.
Josh, where's my phone? You do realize that's going to cost people a lot. A GameCube alone. PlayStation 2 Slim, even, it's $215.29. Add that to a where is it? Nintendo 3DS is like $259 something. Heck, all the 3DS games that I have are like under 20, if not around 20, just about, or 30. Where is it? 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 GameCube. Especially if you want a platinum. That's about almost $200 right there. So, or probably platinum is going to be more, but regardless. And then rare games, yeah, I would see why Coliseum, Pokemon Coliseum is almost $190, but that is a rare game and hard to get game. So that's understandable. But, again, Xbox, PS1 console. About 120. Xbox 360. 223. 191. 189. So, if you were to buy all your consoles at once and all that stuff, it's going to be over hundreds of dollars, Josh. So, going to classic gaming, it's going to be just as expensive if you're getting all the consoles and games and controllers and all that stuff at once. Because, again, if you don't have a console, it doesn't come, I mean, typically it comes with controllers. But if it doesn't, if you get one that doesn't have to come with controllers, you're going to have to buy controllers anyway. But, again, if you get it on Amazon, it shouldn't be too expensive. And it should be too expensive for you, depending on where you get it, especially. But it's not always good to go classic, because it's going to be just as expensive.
Buy a Game Boy or even a DS or 3DS. Buy an original Nintendo. Buy the Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64. That's 159. 169, depending on which one you get. 169 renewed. Not even new. You could probably get a new one, but it would probably even be more costly. And the 169, 159 come with 2 controllers. I think a charger thing or something, plug or something, memory card, and whatnot. Then we can name the game. And then, what do you say, Game Boy? It's going to be about 63 or under, depending on which one you want. The 59, yeah. Yeah. So, if I were to add all these to my cart, my 120 gigabyte drive. Yeah. Oh, 2 controller, HDMI cable, Elite. $250 gigabyte slim. Might do that. I would probably do that. Xbox 360S. The spring value bundle, if you were to get that, that's $259.99. But that comes with 2 games and accessories. Same with the other holiday bundle. But let's just Let's just pick this one. A no protection plan. Right there, that's 359.8. PS1 console. PS1. Let's go with this one. PS2. $229, $215, 200. Let's see, what do I want? Ooh, this one comes with 2 wireless controllers and all that stuff. 2 memory cards. Add that to cart without the protection plan. All this so far is $684.43. GameCube. Especially GameCube's going to be more pricey, especially if you get the one that has the whatchamacallit sticker of Coliseum 2 on it. Let's see this one. Add to cart. 2-year protection program note. That's almost $1,000 for all of these consoles, Josh. Whether they come with accessories or not.
Heck, even buy the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Nintendo 64S. Super Nintendo. Come on. Okay, there we go.
And for the love of God, don't spend any money on these expensive crap.
Yeah, you say that, then they're not going to Classic. Because again, 100, look at that. No matter where you go, consoles are going to be about 100 to 200 to 300 for, like, again, Sony's PlayStation console, PlayStation 1, 117 for the one I found. 191 for the Xbox 360 Elite system, but still around the same price for, like, you know, other, if not a little bit under. Let's see, 159 for the Nintendo 64 Premium Bundle, which gets you the extra, so it gets you stuff like memory card, 2 controllers, or you can go with less controllers, but it'd probably be good to go a little bit extra to get more controllers, to get the accessories that you're gonna need to buy anyway. Let's see. PlayStation 2, $216.37, $186.39, $45 for the Super Nintendo 500,000 game thingamajig. All that brings it up to $19.15, $82 minus the games. So, your point? Don't go buying this expensive crap. Well, then they're not getting all this, especially if they're supposedly need to buy it all at once. But you're not. rich or not. I mean, if you're rich, you'll be able to afford it, but, like, again, not all $1,000 for just all that. And that's without the 2-year, 3-year protection plans. So, yeah, Josh.
It's not worth it. Save your money, buy a classic game, console, controllers, and accessories.
You do realize the more classic you go, the more expensive the console will be because it's rare. Especially if they stopped making them. So it could be just as expensive as buying a new console, games, etc. Especially if it's a game that is super rare and don't make anymore, like Pokemon Coliseum. Pokemon Coliseum. Now focusing about 188.74. To $129.99 for the Gale of Darkness. That's how rare those games are, and they're classic. So, depending on how classic you want to get, you're just going to be spending as much, if not more, than you would to buy a console in a game, no matter what console you get.
Because this is the direction that the gaming industry is going in. It's going to crap, the economy is going to crap, tariffs are screwing the gaming industry and everything. Save your money, buy things you can afford. Buy things used. Don't.
Of course, all wise words. But again, old, used, even like I covered on Amazon, all that stuff was refurbished. So basically used, and it still can be pricey. If you need to save up, but it can be just as expensive buying consoles, whether they're classic or not, Josh. Not everybody is in the same boat as you. There are some people that have a bit more money than you, some people that have less. They're always worse than you, Josh. There are people, yes, that are homeless, and I saw that one homeless video in the playlist, which we'll probably be not getting to in this video. I don't know. Because this alone, I'm not like freaking out or anything, if you're wondering. It's just, I'm just trying to prove a point of what he's saying. It's just as equally as expensive. So, really, it doesn't matter. And like I showed you, Steam is the GOAT. Steam is a good way to go with their sales. You can really easily afford. If you have a PC, a laptop, and it can run games good, then Steam. Wait for your thing to go on sale. Your game, if it goes on sale, if you're waiting for it to go on sale, if you need to, or save up for it. But, yeah.
Buy any new stuff whatsoever until these 4 years are up. Don't buy anything. That's my advice in the gaming industry.
I'm not taking it because
the amount of bad stuff that is happening on the news is causing people to have mental health issues.
I'm not saying that mental health is not a thing, but at the same time, not bad stuff that is causing it. People just have mental health issues as it is, but it isn't going to help you for stressing about things you can't control. And yes, some people with their mental state, or some people with their mental illness, depending on what they have, or like how their brain operates, cannot comprehend that and will probably do that, or not comprehend, or they can fully comprehend what you're talking about. Because there's some nonverbal, there's some verbal, like, you know, there's all kinds of mental health statuses nowadays. But regardless, then if you can control what you stress over, then you can control your mental health a lot better than most people. Because if you don't worry about stuff you can't control, don't stress over politics, don't stress over things you can't control, and just worry about, if not about the stuff you can control, then you're good. You will have a perfect mental health, no matter what's happening in the world. I'm not saying the bad stuff isn't happening, but if something big bomb happens across the state, yeah, it's bad, but I'm not going to be worried about it. I'm not going to be too sad about it. Yeah, it's terrible, but unless it's someone I knew, someone I know, or one of my family, there's no point of stressing over it. Not in a mean way or anything. Because, again, I'm not saying their life didn't matter, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't know them, I don't know them, and unless, like I said, unless it's someone I know, I know that's over there, then maybe worry about them, of course, or family member, etc. It's like, yeah, it's terrible, but there's nothing we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Why worry about it too much or stress over it too much?
Jews. Let's do everything we can to keep our mental health in check.
That would be you stop worrying about this politics stuff. And you, like I said, you do you. You do you. But that's why I'm all chill when it comes to this crap. Because I don't worry about it. I will buy what I want to buy. If it's expensive, I save up. Simple. It doesn't matter what it is.
Because mental health awareness is going to be key in this generation. Guys, prices are on the rise.
Not everything used to be cheap. That's a lie. Because even back then when the dollar was the most expensive bill, there were people that couldn't afford anything that was a dollar or a dime back then. It was still poor people, middle class people, and rich people throughout the ages. Some are more fortunate than others, but there's still things that were expensive to people back then. There were still homeless. There was still people that didn't make that much, even if it was, especially the blacks. When slavery was a thing, or like when they were like getting into like jobs, they couldn't do certain jobs, they couldn't make that much, etc. You know? And nowadays they can, because thankfully times have changed a bit, but at the same time, that's always been expensive. It's just, if you look back at it now and these, it would look cheap. But if you were living in that era without the money that you have now, and you were probably in the same class as you are now, then it probably would be just as expensive, if not a little bit affordable. So it wouldn't make a difference.
I remember a time when everything used to be cheap. Now, they are most expensive products.
Back then, if you're looking at it, yes, it was cheap. But like I said, it can go way, way back to where the dollar was the most expensive bill. Not a lot of people even seen a dollar back in those days, because they were rare. And only the rich had them and all that stuff. That was the most expensive bill back then. Like zero, before they had all these single more bills and all that stuff. So it's debatable. Nowadays, yes, it was cheaper. If you were to move back then, it would probably be, depending on your class, if you were poor or homeland, it would still probably be a bit hard to afford things.
That's out there. In the past, your dollar meant something. Now it doesn't.
It still does.
Heck, If you're a person that likes to do hobbies or jobs like game development or movies, basically anything you do, doing your best used to mean something. Now, if you give it your best, it means nothing.
Not really.
2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times as hard. Just
That's how life's always been. It's always going to be hard. But life isn't like a stick. Sometimes it'll be hard, but it won't be hard all the time. So, and a stick is just straight, hard. Especially the more thick it is. But it's like a roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. Sometimes there's going to be highs, sometimes there's going to be lows.
for your best work to mean something. And if you have a job or something, you have to work harder and harder and harder, and your dollar won't be worth it. Yep.
That's how it's always been throughout life. Nothing new.
You have to work at least 10 times as hard just to make ends meet.
Not really. Not really. It's always been like that throughout life, so, you know.
And the stuff I've seen is beyond insanity. I've seen videos of people saying that they just can't afford things. They can't make ends meet. Their dollar means nothing now.
It does. And yeah, things have gone up, but that's inflation. Taxes. Because the U.S. is in debt. But I'm pretty sure it borrows some money from like China or this or that here and there. And so yeah, they need to pay that off. So how do they pay that off? Taxes. Inflation. Yeah, war, supplies too, and all that stuff. But, you know, there's always going to be a war. Whether it's us versus someone or someone else versus someone. That's just how life is going to be.
And dude, I have even seen prices all across the board. I'll even give you some examples.
But there are also some people that can't afford things because they don't know how to budget. Some do, some don't. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Just you gotta learn or figure out what the best way works for you. But if you don't know how to budget or you choose not to, then yeah, you may micromanage your money and then not be able to afford what you want. But at the same time, so you can easily afford. So you know, it's also about micromanaging. Now, I'm not saying some people purposely, those people you watch purposely not doing that, but there are some people that aren't good with finances and end up digging themselves in a hole or just, you know, buying a credit card thinking, oh, I don't need to pay this back, etc. You know, but they don't know they do. So it's just depends on the person and the concept in the story.
That one time I found a stuffed animal that was like this big, cost $40. That one time I found a small How to Train Your Dragon toy, $20. Heck, even small toy items.
It also depends on the material, Josh. If it's depending on the fabric that is used, also determines its price, whether it's big or small. Okay? Because if it's an expensive fabric, a stuffed animal, whether it's big or small, if they use a premium fabric, then yeah, they're going to need to make it a good price to afford to buy more of that fabric.
It's like this. Just this small can cost $10. And eating out, oh boy. You're going to have to spend so much money just to eat out. Or if you need some food at the grocery store, man, you used to be able to get a whole bunch of groceries. If you go to get groceries now, you'll be even lucky enough to get...
First off, when it comes to groceries, if you do want to save, a good tip is wait until a food bank, go to that, and then go shopping after. Then you don't have to buy as much. But at the same time, when I go to the store, I can get a cart full, or about 50 to 100. It all just depends on what you grab as well, yes. But it's not the big expensive things that get you. It's the small things that'll get you. Because the small add up faster than you think. Okay?
Mostly anything anymore. Prices have gone up tremendously, and it's all because of the tariffs. It does suck because, you know, this economy, it was so easy to buy stuff. Nowadays, you're either have to buy an arm or a leg just to be able to afford it. People cannot afford things now. If you look on multiple videos and people chatting on social media platforms, they're saying that they just can't afford things in this kind of economy. Just things are just way too expensive. And it is. People have to get 2 to 3 jobs just to survive.
Not really. I mean, 2 to 3 jobs, it depends. You're also forgetting that child support, and stuff like that. So if anyone has to pay child support, that's mainly why. Because depending on how much they are required to pay, even when the child's 18, you still gotta pay it. It's stupid a little bit, but you know, you still gotta pay it. So, yeah. But it also depends on the context. Because if you are poor or not good with money or like not in a good stable position, yeah, you're going to want to work 2 to 3 jobs depending on how much a job pays. But if you're middle class to doing well, then you typically want maybe 1 or 2 jobs if you want to have like little extra spending money. You know, or if you have that one good job that pays a lot, you don't need to worry about it unless you want a second job or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It also depends on how many hours they are working at each job or the first main job. If they're working enough decent hours to, like, say, if they get paid hourly, then they will be good with weekly or whatever. They are good, you know? So, it just all depends on the context. They don't need to get multiple jobs to survive. You don't need multiple jobs to survive. I am on Social Security. I am planning on getting a job. I don't need to, necessarily, but I'm planning on to like, have a little extra money spending, or just in case I need it for emergency. You know, better safe than sorry. But I just kind of want to work as well. Why not? But what I'm doing is going to be smart to where find the right hours, find the right pay, don't cross the line for where it doesn't lower Social Security, problem solved.
And I'm just worried that it's going to get worse. Dude, things used to be cheaper.
I don't see you working.
Oh,
I know you used to work at a stadium. I'm not going to say where because, you know, privacy reasons, so you won't have to worry about that. But if you're worried about what the economy is coming to, then get a job. Look up ask Social Security or someone that works there or something to where, what's the fine number of hours and pay that I need to not go over Social Security? You know, does your mom work? I know your grandpa and grandma are probably retired, but, you know, I don't know. But again, if you're just worried, I would say get a job. That's even if it's something close to you. To get a little extra money. So you don't have to go far, worry about gas. But otherwise, I don't know if you should really be complaining, because at the same time, I mean, again, you have a right to, don't get me wrong. But if you're not going to worry about getting a job because of how things are getting so expensive, then I think you're doing well enough to not need to worry about it. And if you were that worried about it, you'd be getting a job. Your mother would be getting a job if she doesn't already have one.
Across the board. Now things are at its highest that's ever been. This is the first time in history that prices has gone up this high. The only time that these prices has gone this high was during COVID. And that was the worst situation for anyone to be in. Now prices are even higher. Just people can't afford things, guys. Costs all across the board, whether it's food, gaming.
Just depends on who. Not everybody is in the same boat with money problems or tight budget. And that's okay. Everybody's in a different boat, but if we work together, we can survive and all that. But again, different class thing's stupid, but different classes is what it is.
Lord, it's all expensive. Guys, things used to be so much cheaper. Everything that you buy
not
now
really at the time. At this, if you're comparing, like I said, if you're comparing now to then, of course it's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper or seem. But if you were in that time era or back then, and still in the tight money situations you are now with making money, then it would still be just as struggling, especially for most people. Back then couldn't afford $1 or a dime, or especially if homeless or poor or money tight budget back then as well. So it's just the same, just different era.
Sure.
Everything is always going to be cheaper if you are comparing to the past. But if you're in that time era, then it'd be like, you know what? It would still be probably a bit. I mean,
people are having to choose between rent, gas, or electric bills. Heck, there's even families that can't afford feeding their children because these prices are so bad.
Not really. I can afford all games.
So bad that people are struggling.
This month I'm getting Jack and Daxter Frontier for the PSP.
Being able to afford food.
Where did I put that?
And this is a big reality that
and a memory card, of course.
Some people won't be able to live with food. And that's just beyond insane. Can you imagine?
This will probably be the last video.
This world with no food. That is not the country that we knew and loved. It's where you came and afford food for basic survival. That is really bad, guys.
Yes and no, because not everybody is struggling. I get what you're going through. I get you're struggling, but not everybody is struggling. Not a lot of people are probably in the same boat of struggling. Yeah, but not everybody.
And I've also seen restaurants shut down in my area. Like Wendy's or KFC. And now maybe, just maybe, Dairy Queen is shutting down too. Dude, people cannot...
But here's the thing though. They're not... You don't know why they're shutting down. It's not because of high prices, probably. It could be that someone had bought out that place, location. It could be that they're micromanaging their money and not paying, or paying their bills, or evading taxes, or a health violation. There are a number of reasons that why something could shut down. Just doesn't mean high prices necessarily.
Afford these prices. companies, small businesses are being affected by this because they can't eat up the costs. Prices affect everything, business and the people.
They need to up the cost because they don't, even if they don't want to, because they have to, regardless, because again, yeah, if there is an inflation or prices going up of like their taxes or the rent of the building, house, etc., they have to up the prices to make me and to keep open that shop. Otherwise, if they don't, they'll eventually need to close. Or even if they keep it cheap, they'll still leave. They'll still close.
And the hard working too. If you have to get 2 to 3 jobs just to survive on food,
No,
and
really.
you cannot provide.
I mean, the food bank down over here, there's enough food to last an entire week. For one person to make it to the next food bank. And then if I need something, I just run to the store if they don't have it, you know. But like, if Amber goes, that's 2 things. Because each person in the household-wise get our own box, or I think, or something like that. But still, that's like double.
For your children, that just shows how bad these prices really are. I miss the days when things used to be cheap. Back in the 2000s,
And
was the
I
cheapest
covered it
economy
before,
I've
I'm not going to say it
ever
again.
seen in a generation.
I don't want to repeat myself.
And now we're the most expensive economy.
Maybe they're not expensive! Heck! I went to go see Mario Galaxy in April with Amber, and that was like under $20 for the ticket. It's only expensive to go to the movies if you're mainly getting the concessions, like the food and all that stuff. Because of course that's how they make their money. That's how they make their money to afford to like keep the place open, especially and all that stuff. The confessions. So, you know, if you don't get any confessions, just get the movie tickets. It's not that typically expensive. It's only expensive if one person is paying for like maybe 5, 4, I guess, depending on the budget. But if they can pay for their own, they can pay for their own. Simple.
Economy in America. And it's all because of the tariffs. Everything price rise all goes back to the tariffs.
Tariffs,
This is
inflation,
really,
same thing.
really
Potato,
frustrating.
potato. I know tariffs is like things out of the USA, but still, potato, potato.
I mean, there's even certain things I can't afford now. I have to really, really cheapen them.
Everything is going to seem cheap if you compare it to the past.
Things up.
Like I said
I
before.
have to be careful of what I spend. The last thing I want me or my family to end up is either out of money or homeless. Unfortunately, the only way we're going to survive this is that we're just going to have to be cheap. We're going to have to watch our backs when it comes to money situation. It's just that bad, guys. People can't afford basic food anymore. We'll be lucky enough if we get a full stack of groceries at this point. People just have a few items, and that's how bad the grocery bill is nowadays. It sucks. It truly sucks. And that's why everything used to be cheap.
Yeah, the only way things are going to go cheap regardless is if they lower the taxes. To lower the property value. Like mortgages, property tax, and all that stuff. Rent. if they raise rent on buildings, so businesses, houses, apartment places, they kind of have to raise your prices to match the current, so you can make the money to keep what you have open. Otherwise, you could refuse it, but then you won't make probably as much money, even if a lot of people came to your store, to keep it open for long. So you gotta have to do what you gotta do. And the companies, game industries, Kroger's, whatever you shop. I don't care. I don't know. I know Walmart probably, but I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the thing is, if they don't up their prices, then they will cease to exist. And all that stuff. Oh, I gotta go get the cat in, and I'm gonna end this episode anyway. So
the prices has gone up.
Okay, so I will see y'all guys in the next video, and wait, that's the wrong outro. But I'll see you guys in the next week.